everybody. I hope you can see me. I hope you can hear me. I know there's going to be a little bit of a delay, but I got to get this whole thing down. But hey, happy Friday. I'm so glad that you all are here and you are, with me. Hi, Caroline. That means you can see me. And hello. Do you know how much I appreciate you do that every time? It really does make me feel better to know that you are here and telling me, hey, if something's not right, then I can fix it. So, my first question for today is, did you bring questions? Because that's what today is going to be about. Hey, Elena. And also, did you hear the music? I've got to figure out so I can get the sound effects in. So, I'm hoping that you all heard this. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. I think you did, and I can't tell, but you tell me. It was the welcome back song, so we'll work on it because eventually I'm going to have to be able to play good job, right? That's what we're going to have to do. So if it's your first time here or you're watching for the first time, this is going to be, oh yeah, you could hear it. Hey, Rhonda. Yes. So this is going to be our Friday thing. Now, of course, I'm going to do next week and then there'll be like a couple of week break while I'm moving, but then I'll be back. Yay. And I'm going to see if maybe I can get Maria or Chris, the other guy that's in the video, or somebody else to cover for me. We'll see. But I just need to move. That's going to be a thing. I'm so excited. It's 2 weeks away. Oh, what am I going to do? So I was thinking on Fridays, I want to answer your questions. This is about you all. You can throw whatever you want at me and pretend like we're actually in a classroom together and you've got questions. That's what today is about. And I'm thinking about calling our Friday live sessions License to Sell. Do we like that? License to Sell. Get it like you're getting a license to sell? Or is that too corny? If it's corny, let me know. I won't choose License to Sell if you think it's too corny. I got some other ideas too. So go ahead, put it in the chat. Tell me what it is that we are going to be talking about today because I can do anything. I can do anything you can do better. I can do everything better than you. That's that song. Gosh, there's always a song in my head. There is. But go ahead and tell me. And I know, again, a little bit of a delay. What do we got? Hey, Kit Kat. Oh, I just love that name. One, I have a cat named Katami, and we call her Kit Kat, so it's just a favorite of mine. But nobody's got any questions? I mean, I can pick something, totally can pick something to talk about. But I want to give you all the opportunity. You said you're going to take your exam on the 25th and you feel like you're just not ready yet. Okay, well, let's see. There's no way to ever be 100% sure that you're ready, but this is what I like to say. You're getting ready to take an exam of questions you've never seen before. And as much as I love PrepAge and all the other things that are out there, if you want to know if you're ready, go find a source of questions, a book, a PDF, maybe borrow somebody like from a different stage, something. Find a set of questions that you've never seen before and take that and see how you do. And I mean, like, sit there, take 100+ questions, then grade it, because that's going to be your best indication of how you're going to do, right? Because again, if you've been doing PrepAge and questions, you've probably memorized them and you want to know, okay, whatever the randomness is that they throw at me that I've never seen before, can I get that right? All right. It was your childhood nickname. Oh, I love it. Hey, Angela. Yes. Okay, so the first question I had was from Miss Page. And look, I can put it on the screen. Look, I think I can do this. Boom. Put it up here. Hey, I love that I can do that. Oh, look, Maria's calling. Maria's calling, guys. Look, Maria's calling. Say hi. You're on live with the webinar today.
Oh, I didn't realize you were doing it live. Hello, everyone.
Yay. So I'll call you back. We're going to go
All
over some
right.
Fannie,
Bye
Freddie, and
bye.
Mac. Okay, bye. All right, we love Maria. And you all, I know that she's gone from Prep Agent, but you will still be able to see her because she's got so many licenses. She's got what, Ohio, Virginia, Florida, Tennessee, maybe Kentucky. I mean, she, North Carolina. She is like, she's got so much knowledge at her fingertips that we're going to make sure we include her. All right, but back to the Fannie and Freddie question. So we know that Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, and Ginnie Mae are all part of the secondary mortgage market. So I am assuming everybody knows what the secondary mortgage market is. I'm hoping so. Hmm. I'm hoping so. But remember, let's just kind of do a quick overview of it. Banks make loans and then they group those loans together. We call that packaging. They package them together, warehousing, and then they sell them to either Fannie, Freddie, or Ginnie Mae. Because if you think about it, in order for a bank to make the most money, like to get all that money off of the interest, they would have to hold on to it for 30 years. So instead of holding on to it for 30 years, they sell it to Fannie, Freddie, or Ginnie, the secondary mortgage market, and then they hold on to it for 30 years and they make money. And then the bank didn't make quite as much money, but I'd rather have money now than wait 30 years from now. Kind of like when you win the lottery, take the lump sum, don't take the paid out over the rest of your life because if you die, you don't get the rest of your money, your family doesn't. So you want the lump sum. So they're like, yeah, I'm taking the lump sum and we'll just go ahead, we'll use that money to make more loans and we'll do it all over again. Well, then Fannie, Freddie, and Ginnie, they are the ones that are buying those warehouse, those packaged loans. So, if you haven't, you all know I have a hilarious video on my YouTube talking about Fannie, Freddie, and Ginnie. And for those people who know, we know that Fannie is open to everybody. Long story, don't judge her life choices, but Fannie is open to everybody. Just reminding us that Fannie Mae buys, which stands for Federal National Mortgage Association. She buys conventional, she buys government loans. And by government loans, we mean um, FHA, VA, things like that. You got Ginnie Mae, who, remember, she's got the champagne taste on a beer budget. She is sleeping her way up to the top with the government official. So she only buys government loans because Ginnie Mae stands for Government National Mortgage Association. So, like FHA, VA loans. And then you have poor Freddie Mac and his vanilla conventional heart. And we already know his performance is a little lacking. We'll just say it's a little vanilla. So he only buys conventional loans. And by conventional, we know those are loans that are not going to be insured or guaranteed by the federal government. So Freddie only buys conventional, Ginnie only buys government, and Fannie Mae, her Fannie is open to everybody. She buys conventional and government loans. Does that help? I hope so. Just let me know if you need more of that. Just let me know. And I'm going to go on to our next question as we see. I'm going to read and see what we've got. All right. Mm-hmm. Rhonda, you said you've not read this in a while. In my class, we went over it. What do you need to become a licensed agent? So that varies by state. So for some states, it's 40 hours. For some states, it's 75 hours. For like Texas, isn't it like 160 or something crazy? So it varies by state. But most states, you're going to have to take a class. A lot of those states, you're going to have to pass an end of class exam. And then that allows you to sit for your licensing exam. That's how it generally works, but I don't know for your particular state. Hey, Soledad. Hey, Trix. Yay. I love it. Okay. And okay, you said go to the library and ask them if they have a PSI practice book. Love that. That is a great suggestion if you're looking for practice stuff. Let's see. And Kit Kat asked, could I go over what the protocol would be for radon if your client asks for it? You've had 3 questions about it on your exam. Right. I'm actually really into radon right now for a number of reasons. One, because as you all know, I'm going to become a Michigander again, although North Carolina will forever be in my heart. I am a Tar Heel born, a Tar Heel bred, and when I die, I am a Tar Heel dead. Plus, I've lived most of my life in North Carolina. I'm a Southern girl at heart, and I am excited to proudly wear my cowboy boots in the Midwest. Right. Having said that, my house is going to have a basement, and it's not a walkout basement, which means radon is really, on my mind. Well, what do I know about radon? You can't see it, you can't smell it. It's a naturally occurring gas, and it's naturally radioactive. I actually found out recently that it's not toxic in and of itself, it's the radioactivity. And the EPA says if you have radon levels that are greater than 4.0 picocuries per liter of air, you need to remediate. So let's talk about that for a second. I read somewhere that 4.0 picocuries per liter of air, that level of radiation that you're breathing in, that's why it causes lung cancer, is the equivalent of having 200 chest x rays a year or smoking 8 cigarettes a day. I don't think so. I don't smoke. I don't do chest x-rays. I'm not trying to be radioactive unless it's a spider who's going to give me spidey powers. But other than that, I'm out. So if it's more than 4.0 picocuries per liter of air, that's when the EPA says you should remediate, which is quite honestly just putting in a big fan system where the fan takes the air from, in the basement area and pulls it out. So when you're talking to clients, one of the things you want to say is, you have the opportunity to test for radon. And if they say, oh, I've never heard of radon in this area, doesn't matter. Just because your neighbor has radon, doesn't have radon, doesn't mean you don't. And the radon levels can change. One year you don't have radon, the next year you do have radon. So I would always encourage you tell people you have the ability to check for radon. You can buy a home test and do it yourself. You can have a professional, but either way, I'm going to put in writing that I suggested this. And if you're turning that down, then, that needs to be in writing as well. So you want to just tell them the basics. It can cause cancer. You may not even know that you're breathing it in. You can test for it. I myself in this new home am going to have a constant radon detection system. And then if there's a problem, I will ask my landlord to fix it. Now, also, a little birdie told me, and I don't know if this is true, but if you were to work at the EPA and they're building a new building, they tend to remediate for radon if it's anything above 2.0 picocuries per liter of air. So if it's good enough, if that's a level that's high enough for the EPA, then that's a level that's high enough for me. So I will remediate if it's anything 2 or above, because I'm assuming if 4 picocuries per liter of air is like smoking 8 cigarettes, then does that mean 2 picocuries is like smoking 4 cigarettes a day and getting 100 chest x-rays? Still doesn't sound ideal to me. So I hope that helps. Let me know if you have more questions, but that's how I would handle radon. I think it should be done just as a precaution. All right, what else do we have? So Kit Kat, hopefully that helps. Let's see. Am I moving close to be near family? I am. I am moving close to my dad. I mean, my mom's there too, but I am shamelessly a daddy's girl and cannot wait to be home close to him after 30 years. And he cannot wait for me to be there because I'm the reason he gets up every day. I'm the sunshine in his life, y'all. I'm not spoiled. I'm well loved. Let's just say that right now. Let's see. You did your exam today. You missed it by 2%. Oh no, Patricia. But let's talk about that. You missed it by 2%. So that 2% is just telling us you're not ready to go out there yet. Think of it like a lawsuit barrier, because that 2% could get you sued. But that 2% is also doable. So let's say that 2% was 4 questions. You know, I have a rule. If you've missed it by 4 questions, then what you want to do is take that 4 questions and multiply it by 5. So that's 20. The next time you go to take your exam, you are going to want to know 20 things. Like, start a piece of paper and write on that piece of paper. Number 1, I didn't know this. Number 2, this is what I've learned or understood. 20 new pieces of information along with keeping the information you already had. We do not give up. We do not give up here. We just keep on going. And then as you're taking practice questions, you know, you come here on Fridays, you ask me, we get some clarity, and then you pass. And then I go, good job, good job. All right, let's see. Anything else? Can I go over a deed of trust versus title? Yes, I can. All right. And for this, boys and girls, it is Picture Pages time. I wonder if YouTube would let me get away with playing the Picture Pages song from Bill Cosby. But what that means is I'm going to be using my iPad. So let's switch over. Boom. See, on this one, I can do the switch over so much clearer. So boom, 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 boom. We are talking about title versus a deed of trust. So let's say you have this house. Boop, boop, boop. That's our house. And it starts with the seller. The seller owns it, which is title. The seller has title. Title means ownership. That's what it is, right? Title. Oh, hello, Anna. Welcome, welcome. I'm so glad you're here with us. So this seller has title, and this seller is going to sell to a buyer. This is the buyer. And usually this is going to be using a general warranty deed. So that's you're giving title to the buyer. The thing that does that, the deed, is an instrument or a contract that transfers interest or title. So if the seller wants to give the buyer ownership, they use a deed to transfer that title. So now title is here. Right? Well, that's great. That now the buyer has it. However, the buyer needs to send money this way. Right? They need to send money that way, but that means you're going to need a loan. So that loan this money, this comes from the bank. So the bank needs to give that loan money to the buyer so that the buyer has this money so that the buyer can then give the money to the bank. Well, the bank doesn't just give the buyer the money because the buyer's pretty. What the buyer has to do is the buyer has to give title using a deed, it transfers, right, of trust. So this is going to be in a title theory state. Literally, the title is now going here. The title's going here. But actually, it's going to take a little side turn, and it's going to go to a trustee. It's going to go to the trust and the trustee for safekeeping. But there is a connection between the bank and the trustee. So to recap, and I'm going to choose a different color here. How about orange? A deed transfers title. So this general warranty deed transfers title to the buyer. The buyer then takes that title and transfers it to the trustee on behalf of the bank so that the bank will give this buyer money, and then that buyer's going to give that money to the seller. That is a deed of trust. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense to everybody? Yes? I think so. Hopefully. You got to give me a thumbs up, thumbs down. I don't know. But Paige, especially, let me know if that makes sense. And if we need to, we can go over how that differs from a lien theory state. But this is something you should know. Even if you're in a state that's a lien theory, they have the ability to test you on title theory. If you're in a title theory state, they have the ability to test you on a lien theory. So I want to make sure you understand. All right. No worries, Sola. No worries, Anna. Oh, good. Ashley. Oh, yay. Yay. I love helping you all. I love helping you all. Yay. Okay, so we know Paige understands that question. Awesome. Okay, Kit Kat, you said who pays the intangibles tax when the house is being sold? So I'm assuming that's a transfer tax. The names of these taxes can vary by state, right? So that intangibles tax. My question, and I don't know off the top of my head, is it the same as a transfer? It helps if I spell transfer tax correctly. And if so, it depends. It depends on the state. I don't know. Unfortunately, I don't know. If you're in North Carolina, it would be the seller, but you called it intangibles tax, and we don't call it that here. If it was Michigan and it's the excise tax, or sometimes it's called the revenue stamps, right? That could be paid by the buyer. So it just depends on the state. I'm sorry, I can't give you a definite answer on that one. Isn't it mixed when it's tangible? I gotta know what intangibles tangible tax. I'm assuming if we're talking about in the sale of a property, unless you're talking about, okay. So, you know what? Let's have a lesson here. So, let me see. This is going to be doing something a little different. I'm going to see whether or not I can get you all to see my computer screen. And we're going to ask ChatGPT. So, let's see. How do I get you all to see my screen? Let's see if I add a screen here. Nope. LBS camera. That's not it. How would I get you all to see my screen? Wait. Maybe it's this. Nope, it's not that. You're still seeing but you're seeing the wrong screen. So that's okay. Boom, I can fix that. Boom, shakalaka laka boom. Hey, there we go. That works. We make it work. So let's see. Now, guys, if you are, and I think I can make it so you can see my mouse a little bit better. Hey, there you go. There's my mouse. I'm going to go to my GPT here, Real Estate Exam GPT. Y'all, I love me some ChatGPT to find answers to questions because you said you were Googling, and Googling gives you all of the answers in the world. And so I'm going to use ChatGPT and this GPT to ask questions specifically to the real estate exam. So I'm going to say, what is the difference? Oh, let's see. What is an intangible tax, and what is the difference between it and tangible taxes? Who pays them and in what states? Which states? In which states would you find this tax? When are they due? All right, we do this together, guys. It's a learning curve for all of us. So, it's a tax levied on certain types of intangible property, such as stocks, bonds, or mortgages. It differs from tangible taxes. Okay, that makes sense, which are levied on physical assets like real estate, vehicles, or business equipment. Okay, that makes sense. So the question is, when are you paying them? Like, you pay your real estate taxes generally once or twice a year, but these intangible taxes, when do you pay them? If it's a mortgage, I'm assuming it's when you sell. And if you're doing it when you sell, I guess it's kind of like revenue stamps or excise tax. Okay, it says intangible taxes are generally paid by individuals that own intangible assets. In a real estate transaction, it's often paid by the borrower or lender, depending on state regulations. Tangible state taxes are usually paid by property owners based on the value of the real estate. Not all states impose a intangible tax. Some that have or have had is Florida, Georgia, North Carolina used to have one, so that's why I didn't know. Tennessee previously have one, and many states have repealed the intangible states. When are they due? At the time of recording a financial transaction. And in Georgia, okay. And why does this matter? So then I can ask it, are intangible taxes considered the same as excise tax or revenue stamps? See, guys, I don't know everything, but I can ask and I try to find it out, and they are not the same. Oh, and it even gave us a little bit of difference. Okay, we like it. This is why we love ChatGPT. Now, I don't want to go into too much, but you all saw here, and I'll go back. If you have this question, whoever asked it, you can just ask ChatGPT this. Now, this idea that I'm in a private GPT is because I pay, but you could ask regular free ChatGPT this as well. So, Soledad and everybody else, does this make sense? Right? Oh, Caroline, I hope it you have a great weekend, Caroline. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining us. So, hopefully that makes sense. I'm going to go back to here, default scene, and now how do I do it? There we go. Yay, back here, because somebody asked me to go over discount points. So let's go discount points. Now, is everybody cool with this? I just want to make sure everybody's good with this format where you get to ask me questions. Does this help? That's my goal, is that you all are able to come on here and ask me questions. I mean, I can pick topics, but this is about y'all, not about me. And also, do we like that license to sell? Do we like that name? I need to come up with a cute name so I can have a better picture for the Friday lives. So there you go. Oh, can I explain in a short way what tangible means? Yes. Tangible is something you can touch. Intangible would be like a ghost. Tangible would be a live person in their body. Like, does that make sense? So tangible means you can touch it, you can feel it, it's solid, it's real. All right? All right, let's see. Can I go over discount points? And I'm going to do this, and I still like it. Right? So we're going to get used to this. And did I miss anything? I'm going to make sure I didn't miss anything. I'm scrolling through. All right. Tangible. We talked about that. Discount points. So, boom. Here we go. See? She asked the question. I love that I can do that. That is so amazing. So amazing. But enough of that. Okay. Yay. So, discount points. We need to know first that we got to get off of this. Okay. So we know a point. If we're talking about mortgage points, a point does two things. You need to know what it costs, and we need to know what it does. It will cost 1% of the loan amount. Right? So if anytime you're being charged points, then every point cost 1 point equals 1% of the loan amount. And what it does, if it is a discount point, is that it moves the interest rate 1/8 of a percent. So for this, I'm going to go to a better, a better thing here for you to see open. Why do I have 30 open things? All right. Sorry, guys. Hey, this is part of, you're getting what you get when you ask me random questions. I can't be prepared. But discount point sheets. Let me erase this. I use this a lot. And if you all want this discount point sheet, just email me. You all know how to email me. You know, and I'll put it here. It is Candace Ellis at gmail.com. And just email me if you want this. No biggie. And notice it has up here what I just said. It costs 1% of the loan amount, and it's going to move your interest rate 1/8 of a percent. So how does this work? Well, let's say I'm getting a loan for $250,000 at 6%. Right? That's my loan. But what I want is 5.75%. That's what I want. Well, what the bank is going to do is they're going to say, all right, well, you need to pay points. If you pay points, which is basically prepaid interest, we'll give you this 5.75% instead of the 6%. So what you need to know is, well, how many? How many points are they going to charge? So for this, what we're going to do is we're going to use this number line. So we're going to say 6 goes here, and we're going to go 5 goes here. So this is 5%, this is 6%. Right now, if you don't pay any points, you are right here. But if you pay 1 point, your new interest rate would be 5 7/8, which, in case you need to know, 5 7/8 would be, and I can do this by taking 7 divided by 8. 7 divided by 8 equals, that'd be 5.875%. That's not what I'm looking for. I want it lower. I want 5.75%. So what am I going to do? I pay another point. And that means, oopsie, boop, boop. Now I've paid a total of 2 points. And when I do that, I'm going to be at 5 6/8%. Well, 5 6/8% is the same as 5 3/4, which is the same as 0.75. So I'm now at 5.75%. So basically, to get that lower interest rate, I had to pay 2 points. So that's 2 points total. And if 1 point costs 1% of the loan, then, that's going to be, what is that, $2,500? Then 2% would be $5,000, because 2% is equal to 2 points. Those are discount points. So the first question is, does that make sense? Second, you like license to sell? It's fun. Yay! Okay, good. Are they a good thing for the buyer? I mean, yes, you are going to pay less money over 30 years. Instead of having a 6% interest rate, you're having a 5.75% interest rate. And I could do the math of figuring out how much that means you're saving over 30 years if you want me to. I don't mind. Some people care, some people don't. But yeah, this is where people who love math and Excel spreadsheets and everything, they figure out, okay, well, should I pay this $5,000 to get it lower? I don't know. It depends. You got to see how much money am I saving? Money up front? I mean, there's so many questions there. I am not a math girly. My dad is. There's some people that love math. Me, I'm like, it's a part of life. Kind of like taxes. I don't wanna, but I'm gonna. So there's that. All right. Do. Kit Kat, you said you're in Georgia. You've tried to Google it. You couldn't find a definitive answer. I'm hoping what I showed you, Kit Kat, was definitive enough. I would go with that, but also call your school to, to fix it. Let's see. Oh, good. You all like it that the others are asking great questions. I think hearing the questions again is very helpful, guys. In fact, when I'm teaching an in-class, like I have a live class, I love it when students ask questions, and I know there is a strong correlation between the classes where lots of students ask questions on clarity, than the classes where a lot of questions aren't being asked. And I believe it's because even if you didn't have the question, you either A, it helps to hear it again, or B, you didn't know that you didn't know it, so you needed to learn it. So there's that. All right. So license to sell. Okay. My next thing is, could I explain pour atri v in my own words? Well, of course I can. So first, just so you know, it is P-U-R atri v, and it's a type of life estate. And it literally means for another's life. That's what it means. So what that is saying is, let's say I own a property. I own a property and I have fee simple absolute. I would give the property to Kit Kat, but it's not forever. You would own this property, that's a clock, as long as Caroline is alive. And then, sadly, when Caroline dies, the property would come back to me. This property would come back to me. So pour atri v means for the life of another. Kit Kat owns it for Caroline's life. Kit Kat is what we call the life tenant. She's the new owner, and Caroline is called the measuring life. There you go. Good. Let's see. Soledad says, so that means pay a little bit more in down payment, but instead use it towards discount points. I mean, this is where, Soledad, people who are especially investors, they will do the math to figure out, okay, do I save more money if I just borrow less money? Or do I save more money if I pay down my points? So this is where people get really excited about comparing all those things. Okay, so Patricia, you said that makes more sense. So to piggyback, if the buyer puts down 10%, the points are varied from the down payment of the 90% of that price, from the down payment. So I think I understand what you're saying. So let me just say this. Let me just clear it up. If you borrow, okay, let me get my pen to work. If you borrow, let's say you want to buy something for $325. Right? That's the sales price. And let's say you're getting a 90% LTV at 6% for 30 years. So I could say my loan amount is 325 times 90%. That's going to be 292,500. And that means my down payment, which is going to be my equity in the house, is going to be $32,500. Now, on top of that, plus if you wanted a lower interest rate, if you wanted this to be 5.75%, you would have to pay another 2 points, which equals 2%, which equals 292,500 times 2%, which would be $5,850. So you'd pay this and you'd pay this. Those would be together your closing cost, right? But now you're getting the 5.75%. So it doesn't really change this whole 90% thing. It's changing your interest rate. So, yay. Let's see. You tried to understand. Oh, you understand things better when I explain them. Good. Oh, yes, amortization, we can. And yes, Anna, these are going to be on my page. And Ricardo, welcome. This isn't the Prep Agent webinar. This is just something I do for my favorite people that I love at Prep Agent, these students. I have students in my personal life. I have students at Prep Agent. And sometimes you don't get enough time to ask questions. So my new Fridays, which I call License to Sell, that's what we're going to call it now, unless somebody says no. Well, License to Sell is going to be me kind of just giving you all the opportunity to have a free-for-all with a teacher. So there you go. And this will be on my thing. Okay, so Ricardo, I think the master exam is going to, I'm sure that he's going to do it later. The difference is when Stu or myself does a Prep Agent review, we're using Prep Agent questions. We go over specific questions that Prep Agent has. And I could do that here. In fact, I could use Prep Agent or one of the other question sources. And questions are good, but I want to answer the questions that you have. So welcome, Ricardo. You'll discover I'm a little different. We like to have fun around here, but there you go. All right. So it's your hero without a cape. Look, I ain't gonna lie, Tricks. I would wear a cape. Like, I do own a winter cape because who wants to wear a jacket? A cape is so much more dramatic. It's got a little hood and everything. So there we go. All right, let's go over amortization. Amortization. All right. Okay, let's do amortization. This is how it works. Oh, you know what? Boop, let's come back. So, we had this loan, right? And I'm 325, 90%, 5.75%. So, our loan, well, we have the sales price of 325, and it was a 90% LTV at 6% for 30 years. And we figured out our loan amount, that's an O, was, what was it? 292.5. Now, that's actually a 5, you just can't tell. So the question becomes, how much is the monthly payment? And this is where amortization comes in. Now, your monthly payment is made up of what we call PITI, principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. Well, the T and the I are going to be 1/12 of the annual bill. Well, we can make that up later. But this P and I, you need to get that from the amortization chart. So let us go to our amortization chart. That's my noise. She doesn't need the medical light. LTV is the down payment. Well, it tells you what the LTV is. So LTV is loan to value. We're comparing the amount of the loan divided by the value. It's a comparison. So we are borrowing $292,500 and the value of the house is $325. And $292,500 is 90% of $325. So that's how that works. All right, so we need this amortization chart. And it is here. Boom. And let me clear it because I was just doing this with somebody yesterday. I'm doing this amortization chart a lot. Oh, wait, that's the amortization schedule. We need the amortization chart. Clear. So what happens is we know we had 30 years. So we're going to go all the way down. 30 years. Woo! And at 6%. So I have this number here. 599,551. So 5.99551. And what this is a factor, which is the same as saying a rate of P&I. So 5.99551, 5.995.1. This gave us 5.99551. What this means is for every $1,000 borrowed, your monthly payment is $5.99551. Now, just for fun, I'm just going to round that 5.99551 to $6. So what we're saying is if this was a car loan for 30 years, then you would be, if you paid $1,000 for the car, your monthly payment would be $5.99. Let's just call it $6. If you borrowed $2,000 to buy this car, you'd be paying $12 a month until it's paid off. If you borrow $3,000 to buy this car, you're paying basically $6 three times because there's 3,000s and $3,000. You'd be paying $18 a month until you get it paid off. So if you bought something for $100,000, well, 100,000 divided by 1,000 equals 100. So I'd be paying $6 100 times. Your payment would be $600. Oopsie, where'd you go? Doop, doop, doop. I lost it. I broke it. Oh, here we go. Boom. I don't know how we got to blue, but fine, we're doing it. So we got $600 a month. So that's how that works. So now let's apply it to what we were doing. Our loan is for $292,500. Remember that? $292,500. Again, that 5 looks like an 8. 500. And I'm going to divide that by 1,000, which gives me 292.5. There are 292.5 1,000s. And we know we're going to pay $5.99551. So I'm going to say that 5.99551 times $292.5 or sorry, not dollars, 292.5, which equals, a drum roll, please. And that means I got to do the math. 5.99551 times 292.5 equals 1753.6, and I'm going to round this 9. That is your monthly payment. This is how a bank would do it. This is if you're getting a mortgage, if you're getting a car note, whatever. This is how they figure out what this monthly payment is. So you know you're going to pay $1753.69 for 30 years, 12 times a year. And when you finish, if I do that math, $1753.69 for 30 years for 12 times a year. So I'm going to do 1753.69 times. That means over the course of 30 years, you would have paid the bank $631,328.40. This is the total P&I for 30 years. However, do y'all remember we only borrowed $252,900? That was our principal we borrowed. So the difference is going to be the total interest over 30 years, which is going to be minus $252,900. $378,428.40. Yep, you paid more in interest than money that you borrowed to begin with, which is some bullshit. So, you know. Well, Patricia, I went ahead. I didn't do 6. I did I didn't round it. I rounded it earlier because it was easier, but I didn't round it. But yes, times 6. Yep, pretty much. The interest does kill you. The interest kills you. Yes. All right, did this help? Did that help? Oh, and let me show you this. Let me go backwards. Remember the first time I looked at this amortization chart, I actually went to the schedule. Now, this is a different thing. This just happened to be a loan for $350,000, right? Their monthly interest payment was $2155.01. So that means, and I printed this off on the internet, February 24th, boom, you're going to pay $2155.01, but only $300 of it goes to your principal, and then this is all interest. So even though you wrote a check for this $2,100, your new balance after your first payment only went down by $300. And you keep doing that every month. Look, every single month you're paying the same amount. But what's happening is every month how much you pay in principal is going up, and how much of that check is going towards interest is going down. So you can see if I just, how about here? In May 2029, you would have made 64 payments. You're still paying $2155.01, but now $460 is going towards principal, and only $1694 is going towards interest. Get it? So there you go. But every single month. In fact, it's not until payment. Where am I? It's not until about payment. I'm going the wrong way. Here we go. We don't get to the point where it's about the same until, look at this. Yeah, right about here. Someplace in here. This is where like you're halfway. This is 129 to 1025. And then this is 119 to, 108, 146. Let's see. You don't make the switch over where you're paying more until here. This is actually the number, right? This is the first time right here. 228 payments later, that you're actually paying more in principal than you do in interest. Look at that. You got to pay 228 months. All right, so this was a loan from 2024. You're not going to get to this point until 2043. But if you did pay this for all 30 years, when you get to your final payment, you don't owe any more principal or any more interest. So that's the chart. All right, someone would like me to go over obsolescence. I can do that. So, obsolescence. We know that we're talking about the cost approach. And the cost approach is about you have to rebuild it and then you got to depreciate it. Well, how do you do that? You could take money off because of physical deterioration. I don't even know if I spelled that right, but we'll go with it. Functional obsolescence. I don't know if that's right. S-E-N-C-E. I don't know. Well, I could have spelled that right. Is there a C in there? I don't know. And then you've got economic. Obsolescence. Now, this could either be curable or incurable. This could be curable or incurable. And this is always incurable. Well, what does this mean? So, physical deterioration is the physical condition. Kind of like if you turn in your car to CarMax, they're going to look to see if there's like scratches or anything like that. Is there a hole through the floor, bottom of the floor? Is there a dent? Whatever. Functional obsolescence would be that car having a tape deck. Functionally, like nobody wants that. The function of having a tape deck is no, we'd rather have some type of, MP3 connection, whether it's Bluetooth or at least a wire. So functionally, it is outdated. And then economic obsolescence is going to be where something outside of the property is causing a loss. Like if you live near the county garbage dump, the landfill, there might be a smell. You can't control that. So there you go. Yes, Rhonda. Yes, report back next week. Good luck tomorrow. We're just going to assume you're going to pass, and I'm going to be singing good job for you. I like it. And hopefully, guys, that's been an hour. I'm going to call it a day. Did this help? I really hope it did help. Again, I'm going to do this every Friday. I might do 2. I might do 3. But we're going to call this license. Yeah, that's right. To sell. Woo, woo. It's going to be Fridays. Come with your questions. I love this. And guys, I'll see you Monday for the Prep Agent webinar, and have a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for playing with me, guys. Bye. Bye, Paige.